Hey Bulldog Nation, my name is Jim Brown. I am the varsity volleyball coach at New London High School. Some of you have already seen my original email, so you already know that. I'm coming to you from a pavilion. I'm long-term subbing at Little Chute Elementary School as a PE teacher, so I wanted to get a parent video out to you before the first day, which is coming up September 7th. So with COVID, we can't get together, so this is the next best thing we can do. So the first thing I'd like to do is just talk about the COVID rules. The girls have been fantastic with that, wearing masks and long sleeves, temperature checks, disinfecting their hands and arms and so forth. And they've been an awesome job of just doing what we have to do. It might not be ideal, it might not be what everybody wants to do, but it is what we have to do so that we can play. So they haven't complained. We've been positive. I think Mr. Sloman does a good job of leading on that. And we have to do what we have to do to make sure that we can play and we can get through this season and play some volleyball. So it's been exciting to work with the kids and get going on that. So obviously you've been supporting that. Well, we want to hear that message from the kids, so thank you for that. Introduce the coaches. They're not here with me, but for our JV2 team, which is the freshman, that'll be Caitlin Schmidt. She's a New London person, and most of you probably know her. She's worked in the middle school, so we're excited to have her on board. The JV coaches, JV1 is Tim Schmidt, her dad. He's been coaching the JV1 team. And then my varsity assistant will be Jordan Kraus. I'm excited to have her on board as my assistant. She's a setter. She's played the game a lot, still playing a lot, and she'll bring a lot to our program and already has. So I think we have a great coaching staff. They've done a lot of contact days with me in open gyms, so we're excited to have them on our staff. Our season's going to start now. This is Thursday, a little bit. Let's see, Saturday's the 6th, September 4th. I can't even keep my days straight. So we're starting this Monday, Labor Day, September 7th. So that's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So this is the 3rd, actually, I believe. So we're starting the 7th at 6 o'clock at 6 p.m. And that we're hoping to have it at that time so that it gives everyone a chance to do their Labor Day stuff. If you've been camping or you're on a trip or something, you got a chance to be back. But that's our first day, and because we're all new, we just thought it's important for us to get started like everyone else on the 7th. So that starts our tryouts by the end of Tuesday, or the end of Wednesday actually, and possibly Tuesday, but the end of Wednesday for sure, we will have our team set. We have policies. Everyone on the freshman team, the freshmen will all make the team. It's important for them to be part of the team, and it helps with their academics and along with social growth and so forth. So that's a policy of the district. But after that, there's a chance that you might not make the team, or obviously the best part is you do make the team and stay a part of a program which is looking to be very good. So it's important that the players are at all the practices. And so again, the 7th, Labor Day, we're going at 6 o'clock. Every day after that is at 3:30, right after school. Monday we'll go till about 8:30. After school, probably till 5:30, 6 o'clock. I have sent out our calendar. I will do that again. So I'll give you an idea, but once school starts, it's pretty easy. It's right after school. It's very important that the players have all their forms in. They have their physical forms in, because they can't practice unless they have those in, and it's tough to try out if you're not out on the court. It's like not going to a job interview and thinking you're going to get the job, so it's important that you're there. My philosophy on kids, I would like to keep as many as physically possible. I know a lot of coaches would just as soon, especially varsity, cut down to 12, maybe even 10, because they don't want extra kids, because sometimes there's drama and that sort of stuff. I've been, knock on wood, but I've been pretty successful in my career of keeping as many as I can and not having drama. It's something we work really hard at. We've already talked to the girls about. We just are not going to have it. I do not want it. And so we need everybody to do their part to be part of team and team first and communicate well and just be part of something bigger than ourselves. So it's my hope to keep as many as I can. With that said, excuse me, if you're just not skill level, not good enough, and you're going to hold up drills, especially at the varsity level, you can't be kept on the team, and that's kind of how I look at that. But if you're going to be a good teammate, you're going to work hard, you can do the drills, you can add to our team. I don't mind keeping as many as I physically can. A few years back at Menasha, we kept 22 girls on our varsity. It's the best record in, I believe, the history of the school. We went to sectionals that year, beat Neenah for the first time in 25 years. We had 22 girls on that team. Seven of them could not suit up for the regional play. They still wanted to be part. They were a great group, absolutely no issues with them. We had a fantastic year. So that's something we look to do. I'm not saying we will keep 22 at New London. It has to be right for us to do that. But just giving you an idea of our philosophy is I want kids to take part. I want them to be part of something. I think sports are a microcosm of life itself. And if you can be part of something bigger than if my success is your success and you're not worried about yourself, I think that's big for our future and for people as they move on after high school. So I don't need to beat that to death any longer. Again, the schedule I've sent out, I will do that again. I think Mr. Saloma will also send that out. Our game schedule, we play 10 conference matches. We play 5 schools twice, home and away. The 2 Green Bay schools have chosen not to play fall sports, so we are only allowed to play the conference schools. We're not allowed to scrimmage unless it's a conference school. We are not going to any tournaments. And I have not been told we're going to allow fans. I did hear it on the radio that the Bay Conference may allow up to 2 per player, but I have not been told that. So as of the time of filming this, I do not know that, but it's my hope that we can have some people in the stands. Also, and as we look at our teams, what I'm looking for like the Frosh team, my philosophy with them is we'd like to get everybody some playing time, but the coaches have to put, Caitlin will have to do the best she can to put kids in positions to be successful. Volleyball is not like every other sport, so this is tough to do on a video, but there's 6 positions, and if you number them 1 through 6, if I start in position number 1, that's the only place I can sub in and play in that game. So if someone subs in for me in that position, in spot number 1, that's the only place they can play. So when I come back in, I can only go into that spot and so forth. So if that makes any sense, it makes substitution very difficult. And there will be a lot of numbers. So Caitlin will do the best she can to get everybody some playing time. It's very important that we try to do that, but you also have to be at practices. You have to be working hard, and your skill level has to dictate that you can at least go in and hold your own. And so coaches do everything they can to put players in position to be successful and go that route. But also I need Caitlin to elevate our best players to be varsity players also. And all the kids need to learn the coverages and serve receive and all of that stuff, which makes things a little bit more complicated. When I first started coaching a long time ago, 33 years ago, I thought it was like backyard volleyball. I found out it's not, and so there's plays and patterns and different things, and so there's a lot to the game, and so they need to not only develop skill but also learn things they maybe haven't learned before. So it's a tough job, so I need you to be patient. If you're our freshman parent, I need you to be patient with that, because there'll be numbers and we have to figure out how to sub and to do all those things. It's a tough job at that level, so be patient with that. The JV level, JV1 level, so freshman would be JV2, but JV1 level, it's time to start getting ready for the varsity, and so you might not play, everyone might not play all the time. I do know, talking with Tim, that our goal is to try to get everybody playing time, but it might not be that way. And because they're the next step to varsity, it's very important to start looking at who our kids are and getting those kids ready to play at the varsity level. And so it might not always be equal. There might be games some players don't get in, but we do our best to get everybody playing time. But again, it's skill development, it's knowing coverages, it's being relentless, it's doing everything you can to try to win, but also be part of a team and so forth. And the varsity level, our job is to win. And you could be, as we talked about before, there's no guarantee of playing time on the varsity. I will do everything I can to put the best players on the floor to win. Once you get to know me, you'll know I want to win when it's time to play. I also want the kids to have a great experience at all levels. That's why we talk about teams so much and team build. If you've played sports, you know that the things you remember are not the wins and losses so much. It's the stories and the bus rides and things like that. And so I need that to need the kids to have a great experience before they're done playing volleyball in New London. I want a team at the varsity that's relentless, that covers the floor, that's graded coverage. We're going to be aggressive servers. We want to try to contend for the conference championship. There's a state tournament play this year. I took a picture and sent it out to the kids. There's a sign in town that has all the state teams on it. There's not a volleyball team on there. We need to try to do that. That would be fun to do. And so that's my goal with the varsity. And again, team, and they're the leaders of this program. I didn't mention, so my background is I've coached volleyball since 1987, and I started at Hilbert High School. And I was the freshman coach there and learned a lot from the varsity coach there. 2 years later, she had her 5th child and she stepped down, and the girls that I started with were then juniors, and they asked me to be the varsity coach. I stepped up to that level, and when they were seniors, we were fortunate enough to get to the state tournament, and that was 1990 or 1991, and that was an exciting time. And then moved around a little bit. I coached volleyball in Elkhart Lake, and then went back to Hilbert. In '96 we went to state again, or '98 we went to state again. Again, a very exciting time. And at that time was the only 2 times Hilbert had been to state. They've been back since then. At Menasha, I coached in 2007 to 2011. We had, as I alluded to before, best record in school history there. And the reason I say that is because we build team, but we also can be very competitive. And so I'm hoping we can do the same things here at New London. We're going to play defense and be in the right spots. We're not going to let balls hit. We're going to be aggressive, like I said, with the serve. We're going to try to play a little quicker at times and try to take advantage of the athletes we have, which we do have athletes. And so I think we can be real good real soon, but there's no guarantees with any of that. But I think New London can be a real good volleyball program. We have a great coaching staff, so I'm looking forward to that. So the next, what comes into being a parent is really tough. I get that. I have a son who played for me basketball at Menasha High School, so I was a varsity basketball coach also for a lot of years. So I coached varsity basketball at Menasha in the early 2000s. My son played for me. It was a little easier being his coach than sitting in the crowd. I know my wife, his mom struggles. It's tough to be a mom, but I gained a different perspective. So I'm in my second marriage, and when I dated my current wife, her daughter played for Kimberly basketball, and we'd go to games. And Troy Cullen's a fantastic basketball coach. I have a lot of respect for him, but even with that, when my stepdaughter wouldn't be playing, it was tough for me, even me. So I've been coaching forever, should know better, to understand that why isn't she in? He could be doing this, he could be doing that. At least I knew better than to say anything to anyone around me or complain, or even complain to Lucy, who's my stepdaughter. But there were times we thought, maybe they could have got her the ball more, or she could have played more. But the key was when she would come home, she was as excited about and she played a lot anyway, but she loved the coaches, she loved playing there, she loved the game, and we could have ruined that in a second. I could have started in on why didn't they throw you the ball, why didn't they play it more, why did they take you out then, and I could have ruined her whole perspective of basketball in Kimberly. But we didn't do that because it was about Lucy, and she was happy, and it was her team, not mine, and not her mom's team. And so I got a different perspective being a dad in the crowd and not being the coach on the bench of my child. So I get a perspective of where parents are coming from. I had another thing happen to me this summer. My wife and I went to Mackinac Island, and we rented some bikes, and we were biking. And where we were staying, there was a driveway, a hill, up to where we would park the bikes, and I didn't shift down in my gears, and I was just struggling to get up the hill, and I was just about to give in, and then a family, husband and wife and their 2 kids, started cheering for me, and mate, you can make it, you can make it, and all of a sudden I had this burst of energy, and I made it to the top of the hill. And when I got done, I thought to myself, what if they would have just yelled, how can a guy like you not make it up the hill? You know, how come your wife's not doing that? Come on, you got to play hard, you got to try harder. How much different that would have been, or if they would have made fun of me, or if they'd have booed me, how much different that would have been for my effort level than them encouraging me. And so I thought to myself, what a interesting perspective that is, because your daughters are going to do the best they can. And all the research and all the articles you're going to read are going to tell you that they just really do not look forward to the ride home from matches and games if they're going to be critiqued. And so encouragement and figuring out the right time to talk about things, because you need to be there for them if they need a sounding board, but it has to kind of be on their time. And so we always talk about this 24-hour or 48-hour rule on talking to coaches, because if we lose a match or so forth, if you come up to me, I've lost also. So to take some time to cool down, and it might be, or just to relax, or just to get things in perspective, and it might be a good idea to think about with your daughters, because they've put everything they got into the match, and we're working on team building and all that other stuff. But you just got to keep things in perspective, and positives help a lot more than the negatives. And I experienced a couple things that put the same thing for me in perspective. Any issues the kids have, they're old enough now. I read a thing this summer. These kids are going to be freshmen. They can TikTok, they can do internet, they can all the internet stuff they can do. They can come and talk to a coach if they need to talk to him. They can email me if they can't make a practice, or they can text me if they can't make a practice. They can text me what time practice is. They can come to a coach and ask about playing time, or they can ask about what they can do to get better. They have the ability to do all those things, and they can be pushed to do that. It's a great life skill for them, and even at the freshman level, they have the ability to do all kinds of stuff, and we just need to let them do those things, and they will prosper because of that. I think that's it. I hope they're looking at it's going to be less than 20 minutes here for you. So I look forward to hopefully meeting all of you as soon as I can. I look forward to working with the girls. They've been outstanding. I'm excited to be in New London, and I think we got a lot of great athletes, and we just need to get them in the right direction. But again, I need help. I'm going to work on team and team building, and no one person is bigger than anyone else, and that will foster, and it'll bloom like crazy if we allow it. I've had great success doing that, and I need your help with that. So with that said, if you have questions, or your daughter has questions, have them reach out to me or Mr. Sloma at the high school. I'll send out, try to get into Team Reach if you haven't done that, and so I'll try to send out all that stuff. But again, I look forward to meeting you soon, and being proactive. Thanks for your support, and hopefully you're giving that to us. All right, you have a fantastic day, and we will see you soon. Go Bulldogs!